Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdom video. My name is Legend Ronnie and today I have a special invitation from 1148. I'm going to have an interview and a little bit of a chat with the Varian from that kingdom. They are Imperium Kingdom for more than a year and they are open to migration. 25 to 35 million PoW players. If you want to join, you're welcome to join 1148. But on the same time, we're going to talk about new kingdoms or old kingdoms, like which one you should choose. We want to give you some tips and advices regarding that, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you might just be confused, or you probably had some bad experiences and you just want to try some of the older kingdoms where there is well organized teams and players that are very dedicated into making sure that the kingdoms runs as a kingdom should run. On top of that, Heroic Anthem just started, ladies and gentlemen. So what are you waiting for? If you're interested and you want to play Heroic Anthem, you have a couple of days left, so you want to jump in. And you're also going to play with me because my alt account is in this kingdom as well. If that's something that is interesting for you, then you definitely want to check the rest of this video. Hello, Devarian, how are you doing, brother?
Hi, Ronnie. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you very much for accepting the interview. Had a great day today?
Yeah, it's been fun watching all the Osiris League matches today, and yeah, had our arc yesterday, so that was fun.
It has been crazy for the Osiris League, yeah, and our game. It's intense. Very nice
Yeah,
game.
I can't wait for next season.
Right, so I got a couple of questions. There's two things that I want to talk with you about is new kingdoms or old kingdoms. I got a couple of questions about that. And the second point, I want to talk about Kingdom 1148. I mean, you already know I'm here for probably a month or a little bit over a month. I'm enjoying my time over here, having a great time. And I just want to detail a little bit, maybe a lot more people will be interested about 1148.
Absolutely.
So the first question is, if you would have to start over, from your experience, from your point of view, would you start on a new kingdom or would you start on an older kingdom?
Well, that's a really interesting question, Ronnie. It really depends on, I think, the experience of the player. If I was
Mm-hmm.
to start over again and I was completely new to the game, I would definitely want to start in a new kingdom just so that I can experience all the early stuff, the Zone 1 wars, battling to the Lost Temple, kind of growing with an alliance, and even doing the first couple KVKs, maybe just to learn the game. Um, Now, for me personally, I've been playing for a couple of years now, so I would personally like to access the latest content, things like Heroic Anthem and all the fun stuff that you feature on your channel, and definitely the commanders that are coming out that are new. I personally don't have very good patience, so I don't really like to wait for those kind of things to come out. So I'd like to have access right away. It's always good also in some of the older kingdoms. They tend to be a little bit more stable. They've been around for a long time, and they have leadership that work together. So there's less likely a chance to deal with chaos in the kingdom.
That sounds really amazing. Have you started in 1052?
I actually started in 163, and there was some kingdom chaos. So, as I mentioned, I've had a lot of experience with that kind of stuff before, and we ended up moving to 148 because of one of my best friends, Matrim, who you know very well, of
That's
course.
awesome. My answer will probably be the same. So my advice would also be like starting in a new kingdom, experiencing the game in the new kingdom. That's pretty unique. I remember my experience when I started in the new kingdom and all the wars at the beginning, like you can
Hmm.
log in and you can wake up with a fate changer. That's how you learn the game. It sometimes hurts, to just log in and get a fate changer and stuff like that. But you
Well,
experience
especially
the
yeah.
game. That's the experience. And then you go into your first KVK and you understand how the mechanics of the KVK works. Then you go into your second KVK and that's also a very unique experience. People already have a lot of experience from the previous KVK and you just enhance your gaming experience. After that, you pretty much have options and quite a lot of options after experiencing KVK 1 and 2. All right, moving on to the next question. Where would you think it would be better to grow an account after you have already experienced the new kingdoms and pretty much KVK 1 and 2? Where would you advise or what would you think it would be the best place? to
Well,
grow an
from my
account?
experience anyway, I think older kingdoms can help you grow an account faster, especially when you get a sense of the beginning part of the game and understand where you want to take your account, the amount of money that you want to spend, and set a budget, and the kind of commanders or kind of role that you want to play. I think the older kingdoms can definitely help you out with that. Mostly because of a couple of things. Older kingdoms tend to have more maxed alliance techs, and more alliances that are set up to do things like arc, do things that have the max alliance tech,
Mm-hmm.
and
Just
also better gifts as well because they've been around for a little longer. Whereas the new alliances and newer kingdoms might still be establishing some of that tech, especially if it's not in the main alliance. Um, they might not have access to as many holy sites that'll help you with research. And also, they might still be fighting for territory. So it is one of those things that may be a little more chaotic. Um, and in terms of commanders and things like that, migrating to new kingdoms to catch up seems to be a new fad. A lot of people are starting to do it, and I get the idea. Um, to try to catch up on some of those old commanders that people have an expertise, or for some of the newer players, they're trying to get access to them. But unless you're planning to heavily compete in things like Mightiest Governor, you can build those same commanders in older kingdoms through Card King. We have access to all those old commanders, and you can work on them a little bit slower. But for somebody like me that has a medium budget, I actually tend to work on my commanders outside of Mightiest Governor anyway. So I don't think that there's much of a drawback for that.
mm-hmm. There was some very good points over there regarding the alliances tag. The only thing that I can add is I would only see growing an account in the new kingdoms if you manage to get in a well alliance, like some of the heavy spending alliances, which I would say that that's very rare, and there's probably just a handful of lucky people or lucky free to play players, if you put it like that, because the
If you know
majority,
somebody.
yes, the majority of the players are pretty much free to play, or at least we presume that they are free to play in Rise of Kingdoms. So that's kind of limited because that's what everyone dreams about. Just get those sweet gold chests to raise your VIP level and get your speed ups to unlock your T5s. That is not always the
Yeah,
case, and that's not always how you should enjoy the game. Like just growing up your account and just getting the T5s, and then you're probably going to get stuck. I would say that some of the old kingdoms can offer you much better experiences with leadership that is very established, and it's not the chaos of the new kingdoms, people that know what they're doing, and you can have some very great and high experiences in KVK.
absolutely.
Moving on to the third question. If you had a bad experience in a newer kingdom, would you try newer kingdoms again, or would you try to move to older kingdoms with a well-organized team, a kingdom that it established for a very long time? We can take 1148 for example, right? You guys are Imperium for more than a year, and you are still Imperium, so it means that the team and the family is still together, which is a very long time.
I think one of the things about an older kingdom is that if you have an older kingdom that stayed together for a while, like we have, it
Mm-hmm.
needs a lot of organization from a lot of people. It takes a lot of teamwork to keep these kingdoms together, as you well know. And I think seeing the evidence of having these kingdoms that stay together for a year or two, and especially for us in Imperium, we've tried to do things to drop out of it here and there, but for the most part, everybody's kind of grown together. And having that stability is definitely very important, especially for people that have had bad experiences in more chaotic kingdoms. Having that stability is definitely very, very useful for growth and also for learning the game in the correct way.
That's really great. I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I'm more in favor of the older kingdoms, to be honest, than the newer kingdoms. It is true that going on to the newer kingdoms, you can have various luck, and a lot of players just enjoy KVK too. But you can have a lot of bad experience, and if you had already bad experience, why would you risk yourself to have even more bad experience, right? Why don't you just give it a try in an older kingdom with, a well-organized team? At least that's what I would do. So I think that's a really good idea.
I think the main thing is just to do your research, right? I mean, whether it's a new or old kingdom, make sure you do your research, figure out the main people in the kingdom, and do a little interview. I'm sure that be more than willing to answer some of your questions. What kind of kingdom is it? What are their values? What do they hold as the most important thing that they try to do? And they should have some ready, available answers for you for that. The good
Definitely.
ones, anyway.
That's for sure. The variant, I heard that 1148, as you told me, is open for migration. It's open for new players that would be interested to migrate here. I would expect 25 to 35 million as we are already Imperium, but a lot of them would be interested and they would like to know what benefits do they have if they migrate here, like which alliance will they get? Will they have access to Zone 3, rewards in KVK? So everything that you can explain and you can tell, daily buffs in the kingdoms, which that I know already we
Mhm.
have regarding gathering or depending on the event and so on. But anything else that you can add regarding this, because everyone would most likely be very interested in this to know how your KVK reward system works and all of the above.
Sure, Ronnie. Well, 148 has always been about focusing on participation. We're a very active
Hmm.
kingdom, and we always have been, seeing as we haven't actually dropped out of Imperium for almost a year and a half. Um,
That's amazing.
yeah, it's one of those things where if you're willing to participate in things like KVK, put in the troops, put in the time, put in the effort to build up your commanders for war,
Are
you
you,
will
are you
be
making
rewarded.
spreadsheets regarding that so you can know who done what?
Absolutely. I think a lot of kingdoms have gone to that, but we definitely have a history of using stats to decide who gets the top rewards ever since
All right, that's
KVK2.
great. Meaning that if a 35 million power player kills a million troops, he will have a higher chance than, let's say, 100 million power who doesn't want to kill any of their troops. Is that correct?
We've had 20 million players that have had better stats than 70, 80 million players, and they've been given tier one.
Wow.
So our 20 million player who basically sacrificed most of her troops, right? But that's what it took, and that's what they were willing to give, and we rewarded them for it. Of course, you're going to hear a little bit of complaint from those 80 million players that don't want to contribute, but
Numbers cannot lie, right?
the numbers cannot lie, and that's one of the basic tenets of 148. We've always believed in that, and we've always had the evidence to show that. We've also promoted players that were lower power into SPAR after seeing them meet or go beyond the expectations. And we've definitely all rotated players into SPAR as well during KVK, even from
Hmm.
some of our academy alliances, some of our sub alliances, just to make sure that we always keep the highest activity in the alliance during things like war.
That's really great. Is the kingdom formed of four main alliances or five main alliances?
The kingdom right now has had a few changes here and there. We've got three main alliances right now, and we've got a number of academies as well that are set up for players from 25 to 35 million to come in and start learning more about how we do things
Hmm.
and be able to contribute in their fashion. And players that are really looking to make that next jump. Perhaps maybe they're looking to do a little power up and contribute more into KVK and learn how to do things like handle rallies or do more field fighting. This is the place for you, I think.
That sounds amazing. This is the same we do in 415 as well. We have spreadsheets about everything. It's very important to try to promote the players that are literally putting the effort for KVK because that's what matters, right? This is the main event that everyone is working for, everyone is aiming for is
Mhm.
KVK.
Yeah, anybody can push buttons to train troops and gain power, but it takes a special type of player to be able to sacrifice that kind of stuff for the common good. And those are the players that we really would like to have.
That sounds really amazing. The Duke titles and the
Mm.
titles, is it permanent 24/7?
Yeah, so basically, titles are handled by the King Alliance at the time. We rotate our kingship, so we're a
Through
peaceful
how
kingdom.
how many
We
alliances?
are united through three alliances. Actually, we just got a fourth one added into the rotation recently with the
P
SSS.
Oh, gotcha.
So basically, we do have around the clock coverage with titles. As you said before, we have daily buffs. We do a tax buff usually every day as well. for gathering.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of wealth of experience here as well for things like commander development, talent trees. There's a lot of experience here, a lot of really experienced and old players that are more than willing to help people and really have discussions about the game.
That's great. What about Mightiest Governor? Is there any rules regarding the Mightiest Governor? I'm pretty sure some people would be interested regarding that.
Yeah. So in 148, we handle money as governor by using a kill event cap of 15 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we usually like to keep it at around 15 million so that alliances have the option of staging any practice battles or mock wars or anything like that, just so that we can have a little bit of fun as well with kill events, not just feeding. And beyond that, we try to focus a little bit more on training troops and making sure that people can save their speed ups for something that's productive, as opposed to just spending it all on healing.
Mm-hmm. That's really great. So there's no feeding basically during Mightiest
There's
Governors.
basically however you want to get your 15 million points is fine with us.
Oh, gotcha.
We tried to discourage people from just sitting there and feeding themselves, because you don't learn anything from that. Especially with your commanders. But a lot of people end up doing things like duels just to see, different commander matchups. There's a
Test
lot of
out your
different
pairings
activities.
and so on.
Yeah, we do pass one rally testing as well, just so that we get a sense of how rally commanders and garrison commanders are going to perform. And we definitely use a lot of that stuff. And we've discussed a lot of those reports with you as well in the past.
I remember. Very good reports.
Definitely helps with KVK. Yeah,
it definitely does.
Yeah, so we try to use things like Kill Event and the Mightiest Governor event to really try to get people to come out and participate and learn more about the game as well as they're going through, not just sit there and feed themselves with T1 sieges, right?
Mm-hmm. That's really great. All right, Evarin, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, I'd just like to say, if there's anybody in the 25, 35 million range, or if you're above that range as well and you're looking for a new home, somewhere that is very organized, has very passionate people, people that are focused on KVK and doing well in KVK, and really is a big family, then maybe give 148 a try. Reach out and maybe ask a couple questions if you're interested, and we'll definitely let you know what's up around here.
All right, that sounds amazing. Thank you very much for your time, and it was a very nice chat, and it was a very nice talk. 1148. Like I said, I'm loving my time over here. It's a great kingdom as long as everyone is respectful and communicate with one another. I'm pretty sure there is rules of conduct. You can't just go out and rage on everyone and all that. It's pretty much punished. That's normal rules in every kingdom.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to have a long-lasting kingdom without stuff like that.
All right, Evaran, thank you very much for your time. It's great news, and I'm pretty sure everyone will appreciate to get more information about 1148. So if you're interested in migrating, what are you waiting for? Come on, 1148.
Looking forward to the next KVK. Looking forward to Heroic Anthem, and I want to thank you, Ronnie, for coming over to 148 and having fun with us.
Hi, I'm having fun over here. I don't regret coming here. All right, talk to you later, bud. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
You too.
All right, everyone, that was interview with the variant from 1148. He is part of the leadership from 1148. They are open to migration. Any more questions that you can have, you can definitely ask the rank 4s, and I'm pretty sure they will be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, our little talk about new and older kingdoms, and I'm pretty sure there is a lot of players that might just find this very helpful, because like I mentioned, you probably had some bad experiences, right? And you just want to try something really new. This is what you can do, and this is what you can try. Until next time, this is your boy Legendary signing off. Peace out, yo, and take care. See you on the next one, and stay safe out there, my friends. See you on 1148.